It's the He Say, She Say podcast, Battle of the Sexes. Who will win? He Say, She Say is the new podcast featuring views and thoughts between Clark Howard, photographer and podcaster, and Samantha Pounds, a public relations specialist who is also a podcaster. Clark and Sam share different perspectives and opposing views on the He Say, She Say podcast as they discuss various topics such as love, relationships, life, and the everyday podcast dialogue they see on social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and others, while looking at what you, the general public, like to share with the world through social media. So, join us for this exciting new podcast segment, and you just might change your views or maybe gain a new perspective. It's the He Say, She Say podcast, Battle of the Sexes. Who will win?
What's up, everybody? I am Samantha.
And I'm Clark.
And you are joining us on the debut episode of the He Say, She Say podcast.
Welcome, everybody.
That's how you're gonna start it. You don't have no special introduction. You just keeping it plain and simple.
Well, I have a little special that I'm having this little thing with a couple of friends of mine have actually got together, and we talked about, relationship-wise, and one of the biggest topics that we were mainly talking about is friends before relationship.
Okay, so before you get into all of that, this is the debut episode. We got to introduce ourselves.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
We got to introduce ourselves, and then we'll get to the topic. So for starters, I am Samantha Tierra. A lot of you may know me on social media as pretty_sociable. I am a publicist. I'm an author. I'm a writer. I'm a radio host. What else do I do? I do a whole bunch of different things.
Oh, check this out next.
So that is who I am. I am actually very used to actually being on the radio. For a lot of you all who have listened, you may remember me from the Wednesday Antidote, which was a Radio Next show. And also, if you're in Chicago, you also hear me on the Don McClure radio show, which also it airs every Friday. So that's a little bit about me. My co-host, tell me a little bit about yourself, Clark.
Well, I don't have a long list of everything that I do, but you guys know that my name is Clark Howard. I'm actually deaf and hard of hearing, and I really am involved with more like chefing, photography, entertainment type things. So that's pretty much my background of who I am. I also do wine and ASL, so that's one of the biggest hits based here in Indiana, and it's turning out phenomenal. You guys should check it out, wine and ASL. I don't really have a whole list of things about myself, but I'm really excited to be on this podcast, the He Say and She Say podcast.
He Say, She Say podcast. Okay. All right. So we are going to get it jumping. So a lot of you all, you may be thinking and saying to yourself, why are they doing a podcast? Well, there's a couple of different reasons why. Number one, Clark and I, we are actually at a very interesting point in our relationship. And so we thought that, why not do something to inspire conversation, not just with couples, but just conversation in general? The type of format that we're going to have with the He Say, She Say podcast is there's going to be a topic, but there is always going to be a very opposing view. So as you trek the journey with us, you will notice the various different opposing views that we have on different topics and how we pretty much bridge them back together. We are also in a relationship as well, but these are real conversations that we have with each other. So I think that by us doing this podcast, it's a wonderful way for us to just kind of, litigate, our thoughts and our opinions. So are you ready to get it started? Are you ready, Clark?
I'm ready to flip the switch.
Are you ready to flip the switch? Okay. So today's topic is a very interesting topic. Now, Clark, he says friends before romance. Me, Samantha, she says, why does it matter? Okay, so that is the topic. He says, friends before romance. She says, why does it matter? So it's really interesting how we actually came up with this topic. Like I said at the beginning, Clark and I, we are at a very interesting phase in our relationship. And actually, when we, first got together, I think we sort of kind of just jumped into the relationship. And by us just jumping into the relationship, from your perspective, you would have wished that we would have built a friendship first.
Correct.
And I have the opposing view of, why does it matter if two people are vibing, if two people are really feeling each other? Does it really matter if you guys start off as friends or not? So Clark, tell the listeners a little bit about how you kind of sort of came up with this perspective.
Well, as I was saying a little earlier, and I didn't mean to go all the way back and tell you guys the little topic there, but as I was saying just a little earlier that, my friends basically and I were kind of like talking about how it is important to actually be friends before getting into a relationship, a real serious relationship with someone. And the reason why we're talking about that is because we felt like our friends, being friends with someone, you have to know who they are. You have to know their true colors. You have to know where they stand in life, not even physically, not even financially, but also mentally. You want to know what their mind is at, where their paths are, about themselves. So we kind of like talk more about that and share opinions about why it is best to be friends before getting into a relationship, because my thought is that you would know that person longer if you're with that person, for a very long time. Let's just say you get married before, let's just say you get married and then, you realize that all of your experience being friends actually really help your relationship out. And so that's kind of like what the reason why that brought my attention to this topic.
Okay, so now this is it's not an argument, but like I said, one of the things that we're going to do with this podcast is we're going to be very transparent in our relationship and how we present this to the general public. Now, one of the things that, in the title, as it says, he says friends before romance. She says, why does it matter? So I personally have the opinion that I don't really think it matters if you start off as being, friends before the romance. And that's simply because in your relationship, you're going to constantly learn things about each other. You're going to constantly learn. A person can be married for 50 years. You could be married to that same person for 50 years. And within 50 years, there are still things that you're not going to always know about that person. You're going to learn something new from that person every single day.
That is correct. But, it is the first step. It is that you have to learn as a friend. You have to build on with that friendship before you can actually put yourself in that serious relationship, because you might not like what they like. You might not like the colors that they like or the food that they like to cook. So therefore, before you put yourself to that conclusion of being in a relationship, you might as well want to start off as being a friend first.
Okay. So let me, I'm going to kind of twist this a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to twist it. So when you say friends, what does that entail? Like, what does that entail, being friends?
Man, being friends, basically, it doesn't really necessarily mean just always going out and you can always text each other, call each other, laugh about jokes and random stuff. What I'm actually guiding for as a friendship before a relationship is more like, you can call her and then she can joke about something, or he can joke about something with no judgment, or you don't have to worry about where she's at or where he's at, all you're just focusing on just laughing and having a good time and just randomly thinking about things or sharing ideas with each other. That is what friendship is all about. You're building. Let's say you got to start with the baby steps before you can jump to the conclusion. And so that's why I always say friendship is always the first step. I mean, no matter what, you're still going to learn as you are when you get into relationships, because there are going to be some things where you might not like what he like or what she like. So
okay. So here's another opposing view about the whole friendship before romance thing. Because personally, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a really big fan of that, and I have my various different reasons of why. But I think that the whole friendship before relationship thing, it's a very fine line, because you literally can put yourself in the friend zone. And that could be a very dangerous thing, especially, if I'm wanting to, be in a relationship with you, but you're just wanting to be friends, and we both make the agreement, okay, let's just start off as friends or whatever. And it's like you have that risk and that possibility of literally just being in the friend zone without it going anything further. So I think that by doing that, it gives you sort of kind of like a way to kind of still do other things. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a little tricky for me.
Well, if you go into the friend zone, if you stay in the friend zone, it's always best to communicate with that person no matter what.
So how do you get out of the friend zone?
Huh? Say that.
How do you get out of the friend zone?
Well, you got to talk to him. Not even him, but her as well. You got to be like, hey, Samantha, I just have this feeling and I like you a lot. I just want to know if we could take it up to the next level. And then that other friend will have the choice to tell you how they feel. So basically he might say, well, I like you too, but as right now, I kind of feel like what we're doing is pretty good. Because you never know what's going to happen later in the future. So that means we can jump right probably to the relationship stage or to the marriage stage and, so on and so forth. Because some people, I'm not going to lie, some people only be in a relationship for like 5 months. And then all of a sudden they get engaged. But what happened with that girlfriend and boyfriend relationship? You know what I mean? So therefore, you got friends, girlfriend and boyfriends, and then you got fiance, and then you got marriage, and then you got death. You know what I'm saying? So it's
okay. So all right. So if you are just tuning in, we are actually talking about the opposing views of friendship. So he says friends before romance. She says, why does it matter? Okay, so you brought up a very interesting point. So I'm just kind of curious to know, what comes after the friendship. And you brought up a good point. You said, okay, boyfriend, girlfriend. I don't like that term either, boyfriend, girlfriend. I think that is so childish. We are adults here.
Oh, God.
But I've actually heard some folks actually, say that it's dating, and then the next stage after dating is courting, and then the next stage after courting is engagement, and then the next stage after engagement is marriage. So I think you kind of alluded to it, but in your opinion, what do you think are the various different stages of a relationship?
Well, the various different stages, as I mentioned it, kind of like what you just said, but, everybody looks at it differently. Everyone say, well, my stage is girlfriend and boyfriend, and then my stage next will be marriage. Because some people just jump from one end to going to the courthouse and just getting married.
Right.
And so I just kind of believe that it starts off with, friendship. And then once you start talking about relationship, being boyfriend and girlfriends, or even before getting married, I
boyfriend
think it
and
should
girlfriend,
be,
that is so childish.
I know it sounds childish, but that is the level, though. That is the level.
That is so childish. Instead of saying, that sounds like middle school. I don't even think when I was in high school, this is my boyfriend. I don't even think this is my guy.
Like some people, they'll be like 40-something years old. They be still saying that's their girlfriend or boyfriend. You know what I mean? So, it really, isn't really that childish, you know. I mean, it kind of is childish, but it isn't that childish.
Because in my opinion, and a lot of the listeners are probably like, okay, you're being petty. But in my opinion, when you use the term boyfriend and girlfriend, you're still alluding to that's just your friend.
Well, that's true, but you know, you got a little nudge, meaning going to the next level with your relationship. You know, depending on how well you can keep the man or how well you keep the woman. You know, you got to make them or keep them satisfied in order for yourself to be moved up to the next level in the relationship. So it's like playing a video game. You got to get to level 10. Right now, you might be on level 2, which meaning the friendship and then girlfriend and boyfriend. So you got maybe 5 more levels, 6 more levels to go in order to be in the actual marriage.
Okay, so all right, okay, I see where you're going. So when you talk about, friendship before romance, how long do you stay friends with someone before you actually know, like, okay, I think that we can, take the next level? Is that a couple of weeks? Is that months? Is that years? I know for some people it's different, but I'm just curious, like, for you, what does that consist of? Like, how do you know that, okay, we've been friends and now I'm ready to go to that next level?
Well, I can't speak for anybody else, but
right, which is why I said speak for yourself.
But as my thing that I come about is saying, it depends on me and God. It depends on my decision of how I feel in the relationship. If God tells me that I'm ready to make it to the next level with you, I should make my move. So therefore, it is mostly God speaking to me to say, okay, I gotta be ready. I think she's the one for me. I think she's the one that is going to be a keeper. I think she will help me change my mind to help me become a bigger man. So it really doesn't have a time frame of how long. What it is, it depends on how the person feels. If they're ready to take it to the next level or not. What you think about that?
Well, because I, personally don't think that there's a need to, to start the whole friendship before romance. I personally believe that, when you meet someone, because like I said, we're adults here. So when you meet someone, you're vibing with them, you're texting, you're Netflixing and chilling, whatever. You're vibing with that person. Naturally, you're kind of dating. You know what I mean? Like you're kind of dating at that point. Because you are getting to know that person, you're kicking, like, you both know what it is, like, because we're adults here, so you both know exactly what it is. And then I think that once you start bringing your significant other around your friends, your family, especially your family, then that's how you know, okay, we're not just dating, but we are actually serious now, so as far as time-wise is concerned, I think for people it means very different things. I agree with you. It's very, very differently. Me personally, it just really depends on the energy and the vibe you give off. So if you give off, this energy where it's like, oh my God, like I really like this dude. Like, oh my God, I really can see myself with this dude. Once you get that feeling, then it's like you kind of know, like, okay, now we can like really go to the next level. And me personally, once I bring you around my family, once I introduce you to my mother, like at that point, we go together. We go together like peanut butter and jelly. We go together.
Well, before you do, when you said we go together like peanut butter and jelly, but you still need the bread, right? You still need the buns, right? So I know I'm being a little funny here. But what I mean, if you see, I don't know if you've seen them random little things on Facebook to where they're best friends, and it has this hashtag where it says "Stop playing." Y'all should be going together, whatever, something like that. Well, those people are technically best friends. Now, when people are looking at them together, they look at them like, oh shoot, they together. They're with each other. They cool like that, but it's because they don't want to ruin their friendship or they want their friendship to be at that same level. Then maybe later in the future when they become older, they meet again. Oh shoot, they're going to take it to the next level. They're going to move up. They're going to want to re-meet. They're going to want to talk about serious relationships. They're going to want to talk about more. But as of right now, when you're at that stage, you're talking about life. You're talking about yourself. Because once you're in a relationship, you're talking about us. But first, you got to talk about yourself. You got to introduce yourself. You got to tell the person who you are as a friend. Because therefore, if you don't tell me who you are, I don't know you.
But that's where you can get to know me.
Exactly. That's the friendship, right?
When we're in that dating phase, that's how you can get to know me.
Right.
When we're in the dating phase. I don't know. Like, I think this is just like one of those topics. If we can have the verdict in, I just would disagree. Why does it matter if you have to be friends or not? And being very transparent to our listeners out there, Clark and I, when we first got together some years ago, What you say?
I said some years ago.
Some years ago.
Uh-huh.
When we first got together some years ago, we actually did not start off as friends. Oddly enough. Yeah. We did not start off as friends. We actually got into the relationship. We hung out with each other. We kicked it with each other. We vibed with each other. We talked, we text. So, we were not friends. And, we still ended up breaking up. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then we went through another weird phase of which is the phase we're in now, where we are just friends. And, it's sort of still kind of, we're still kind of sort of doing the same exact thing. And it's just like, it's the same result. So I just feel like, why does it matter? Like, why does it matter?
It always matters because once you are out of, not out of the position, but have or try to adopt the idea of the relationship, try to change the way it works, try to fix what has caused the issue to be, downhill, then you have, a moment in your life to where you're like, oh man, I see where he or she's doing. I see where they can improve at. I see where not to cross that line again or where to make that bad turn or get in that gray area of that person's life. And then we learn from that. We built on top of that to better the relationship in the future. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, for people who are already at that beginning stage, they're going to headbutt each other because they don't know exactly, what fits them, what is, compatible for them. They don't know what it is that he likes or what she likes until they start, getting more and more closer. I'm not talking about having sex as getting closer. I'm talking more of like knowing out of the blues of going to the store and picking up a random candy bar out of the blues and knowing that person is not in a good mood. You're like, oh shoot, I gotta get him a candy bar today because he or she is not feeling good or not, in their best mood. So I'm gonna do something random for that person to where I know they gonna like it. That is the close plug. But in that relationship, in that friendship zone, you don't know that yet. You don't know that. That's the beginning stage of life.
I don't know. The whole friendship thing, it's a little tricky. To our listeners out there, let us know what you think. You can actually you can email us at dreamstylemedia@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. If you're in a relationship, did you, start off as friends with your significant other, or did you guys just sort of kind of jump right into the relationship and you sort of, learned as you went along? So we are talking about it. He says friends before romance. She says, why does it matter? I don't know. I don't know. If I had to give a verdict on the topic. I would say that this would be something that we probably would just have to agree to disagree
I agree
on.
to disagree.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so one of the things that we're going to do with the podcast is each week we're actually going to have a word of the week, and either myself or Clark is going to expound on that word. And I'm actually going to kick it off. So the she word of the week is cute. Okay. All right. So I'm going to explain to you why I decided to make this the she word of the week, cute. Okay. So this podcast is, of course, it's about, relationships and the different opposing views of relationships. But one of the things that I was kind of thinking as we were talking about, this topic is, friendship before romance. Well, in my mind, like I said, I believe, why does it matter? So in my mind, I'm already to the next stage. Like, okay, we're already in a relationship. So ladies, when you are in a relationship with your man, and once you've gotten over that quote unquote friendship stage, once you've gotten over that, you have to keep it cute and sexy for your man.
I agree with you on that.
You have to keep it cute and sexy. Now, really, really funny story. So everyone who knows me knows that, after a long day, I work a lot, between clients, different radio shows, writing, TV shows, all of that. I do a whole bunch of writing. But at the end of the day, when I come home, when that bra comes off and that bonnet comes on, that means it's the end of the day. And there's been different scenarios to where Clark has been like, you got that cafeteria lady hat on.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
So I say that to say that, ladies, even though, you've gotten your man, you have to keep it cute and sexy. Like right now in the studio, I think I look cute right now.
I agree with you because I was just about to say, girl, you look good today, man.
I look cute right now. I still gotta, I got my shoulders hanging up. Like I wish I could.
Don't make me come over there now. Don't make me come over there. But that's true. I agree with you on that.
So, I mean, from a man's perspective, do you think that, women, do you think we've become, once we get into relationships, we get so comfortable that, we sort of lose our sexiness a little bit?
Yeah, I get too comfortable to where y'all throw the wig off. You know what I mean? I seen that a couple times on, some of my friends talk about that. But hey, like she said, cute is like the main priority to your relationship, because once you come home and you take the bra off, like she said, you don't want to put the cafeteria hat on. You just don't. You want to look cute in a way to where, that man looks at you and be like, wow, damn, I cannot believe I am with something so cute and so beautiful. Look at her try to pull her shirt down. So she can show her shoulders. But
my little shoulder roll, my shimmy, my shoulder shimmy.
Okay, now. But like I said, it's like I don't know. It's like, the same way for guys,
Absolutely.
A woman want a guy to come home, looking good, too. But shoot, I am, blessed. I tell y'all that right now. I'm blessed with what I got right now.
Absolutely. Men, you gotta clean your balls. We don't.
Oh my God.
We don't want you coming to bed with stinky balls. You gotta clean your balls, man.
She said that wrong.
Here's the thing that I know about men. Most men, not all men, but most men, especially when it comes to attire, they like to keep it really, really simple, which is like a t-shirt, jeans, and some beat up tennis shoes. But damn it, every once in a while, we want to see you wear more than just a t-shirt and some jeans and some beat up shoes.
Shoot, what do you suggest?
I'm just saying, fellas, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. It doesn't matter if you're a janitor or if you are a corporate vice president of a company. It doesn't matter. Every once in a while, you have to just surprise your lady. You know, you have to keep it cute. Just like you want your woman to keep it cute even in the bed, you have to do the same thing as well.
Well, men can't keep it cute. Men can keep it good looking.
Well, absolutely. We absolutely. But I also think that men slip in that department as well. If they get very comfortable, if they go days without shaving their hair, the balls are stinking,
I thought that's what you women like, guys with stinky balls.
Absolutely. Hell no. Hell no.
Come on a minute. Y'all don't even care. Y'all love the guys that no matter how they look, they come in that house. Y'all love them either way. You know what I'm saying? Especially when they come home cooking. You know what I'm
saying? We want you also to look decent and in order as well. That's the she word of the week. Cute. We want you to look. You don't have to look cute, but we want you to look good as well. If we have to look good, why can't you look good?
All of us look. We do come home. We come home. We just like to get that can of beer and just pop it open and just flip on the game and just chill out for a couple of hours before we, jump in the shower and just look good, smell good, smell fresh. Some of us just like to just jump right in the shower and look good, smell fresh, and then chill out for the rest of the day. But, some guys just like, pop it open, watch the game, chill out.
So you don't want to wash your ass as soon as you walk in?
I wash my ass. Come on now. I come home and I wash my ass. I like to sit down for a couple minutes before I wash my ass. Since my hands and my feet I've been on my feet all day. My hands been working all day. So I like to get at least maybe 5 to 10 minutes of the time, maybe an hour of the time of the day.
You go from 5 to 10 minutes to an hour.
I know, I'm just saying. But guys, they like to have that moment to chill out before they do anything else. Now, we do come home and we do wash our balls and wash our asses.
Not all men, but
not all men.
Shout out to the men out there that washes your balls. Shout out to those men out there.
I can't say that, but all I can say is good job, gentlemen, though. But it is good to take care of yourself. Especially a woman, it's good to take care of yourself. Smell good down there, smell good up there. Do what you gotta do.
Smell good down there.
I'm telling you like it is though. It's the truth. We as people, not only just adults but kids as well. You gotta take care of yourself because no matter who or where you at, you might run into the most amazing person. Let's just say it's your ex or it's your and you're not even in a relationship, you're single, but it's your ex. You're like, oh man, I seen you. Then they might run into you like, oh look at you, oh goodness, you smell good. That type of stuff. So you want that good reputation, if that's the right word to use. A good look. Feel me?
Yeah.
No, you don't. See over there holding your breath for a moment, give you a little pause. No. But you know what I'm talking about. We all got to take care of ourselves. That's general. Being cute.
Absolutely. And ladies, when I say being cute, like, when you get in the bed with your man, make sure you brush your teeth. Make sure you rinse your mouth out. If you can't afford, Listerine, you can buy a 99-cent bottle of peroxide. It all works, It all works. You got to keep it cute. You got to keep it right. You got to keep it tight. You got to keep it sex. Let me tell y'all something. I've been going to the gym for the past couple of weeks now. Let me tell you, when I first started going to the gym, at first, I was like, you know what? I'm just going for myself. I just want to get healthier. And then my man actually started to notice. And so at that point, it went from me going to the gym by myself to like, oh, wow, like he's actually noticing. So maybe, I need to keep this up or whatever. I'm keeping it cute for my man. And fellas, I'm sure it's the same for you as well. When you go to the gym, I'm sure you're trying to get your 6-pack, your abs for your lady as well.
Oh, not only the 6-pack and the leg and all that, but the behind is worth it.
The ass. You can say ass.
Okay, the ass is worth it.
Fast.
I'm saying it. I mean, because once you get that in shape, boy.
Well, I mean, once you
can't
get
take your hands off of them. I'm sorry. You can't take your hands off of them. You just can't.
I mean, it's proof right here. He can't take his hands off.
Oh, I know. I can't take mine right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, again, you are listening to the debut episode of the He Say, She Say podcast. This is the first episode. We are so grateful and thankful that you have decided to join the journey with us, Clark and I. We are excited about this podcast, things that we've got coming up with it. If you are enjoying the first episode, why don't you hit that subscribe button in your iTunes store, SoundCloud, all of that. Make sure you subscribe because we are going to be back at it every week.
Yes, ma'am. And y'all, just keep notes, have like a little notepad with you, some notes, some information, because we got some really dope topics we're getting ready to be talking about in the next couple of weeks here on He Say and She Say podcast, because it's all about the agree to disagree. And we or something like that. But we just have so much information that we share with our own self before we share it out with the world, because we would like the world to understand exactly what we have experienced, and we want you to get the right information from the right people here on He Say, She Say podcast.
And what I can definitely say, couples out there, it's a lot cheaper to listen to us than going to a counselor. So you are very, very welcome.
Yes.
You are very, very welcome. So again, guys, if you want to write us, if you have a question, if you need advice about anything, you can always hit us up on our email at dreamstylemedia@gmail.com. We are going to, have an eye on that email box. We're going to be watching any comments, questions that you have. It could appear on an episode. So, yeah, make sure you keep it locked, keep it tight, keep it right, however you say it.
And stay cute.
And stay cute. All right, everybody, that is going to do it for us this week on the debut episode of the He Say, She Say podcast. Again, I'm Samantha.
And I'm Clark.
And you have listened, you have tuned in, we've came, we've conquered, and now it's time for us to go pay some bills so that we can keep the podcast going. We will be back next week at the same time.